Hi, welcome back to Growing Up Catholic, His Loving Touch. And again, I'm Elaine, and today I'm going to tell you a love story. And it revolves around white rosaries and, the mother of Jesus, Mary. Though not direct, just through the rosaries. So my dad, he was engaged, and to make a long story short, he walked in on his cousin who was in bed with his fiancée. Needless to say, things weren't good. My dad said he beat up his cousin. And he did. And he didn't touch his fiancée. He just made her leave in a hurry. So the relationship with Dad's cousin wasn't so good, obviously. But they did mend their relationship later. And my dad forgave him. Now, my mom was dating this man. And she told me about the first date she had with this man, and his name was Bruce. And he decided to take her to an Italian restaurant where my mother ordered spaghetti and meatballs. So my mom was wearing a white dress, and when the waitress was giving her the food, putting it on the table, the spaghetti and meatballs slipped and went all over my mom's dress. Not a good start. But this man named Bruce, he took Mom home so she could change, and took her dress, and he said he could take it to the cleaners, or he would get her a new one. And of course she said no. No, the dress was ruined. So my mom continued to date this man Bruce, and then she decided that he wasn't spicy enough for her. He was mild-mannered, and a real gentleman, but he was just not her type. So my dad and my mom were single, and there was a dance at their church. They didn't belong to the same church, but there was a dance at my mom's church. And Mom and Dad, decided that they wanted to go, and with their friends. Now, before my mom, she got dressed up, and as they did back then, it's not like, we wear jeans or casual today. But then they really got dressed up. So Mom got dressed up in a nice dress, and my mom was a beautiful woman. I'm sure you've seen some pictures of her if you've watched these videos. So my mom got all dressed up, and her friends were waiting for her in the car. So just as my mom was about to leave, my grandmother, her mom, came up to her and said, "Beatrice," my mom was 28, and she said, "Beatrice, I want you to have this." And she placed a white rosary in my mother's hand, and she said, "And I want you to hold this, and I want you to let it be shown Don't be embarrassed of it. Because I have a feeling that you're going to meet a good man tonight. So my mom kept the rosary, but she did put it in her purse when she got to the car. So my dad, when he got dressed at his place, at his mom's place, and my dad was 29, and tie, suit, dressed. And my mom said, oh, he smelled good. But anyways, before he left, his mother came to him, and she too had a white rosary, and put it in his hand and said, Joseph, I want you to hold this rosary. Almost the same thing my grandma said to my mom. So my grandma on my dad's side gave my dad, placed it in his hands and said, don't be embarrassed about it. I want you to hold it because I feel that you are going to meet the right woman tonight. So my dad, he loved his mother, respected her, and kept the rosary, and when he got outside, put it in his pocket. Okay. So they get to the dance, and it's crowded. And my mom's with her friends on one side of the room, and my dad's on the other side of the room with his friends. And as always back then, they had live bands. So the band was playing, and the music was good. People were dancing. And suddenly, when my mom turned around, she caught a glimpse of my dad. And she looked at her friends and she said, you see that handsome guy across the room? And, they said, yeah, he's really handsome. And my mom turned around to look at him again, and he was looking at her. And he said to the guys he was with, you see that girl across the room looking at me? And they went, I don't know what girl. There's no one looking at her. You. And he said, well, she was just looking at me. So my dad turned around again, and my mom turned around again, and their eyes met. And one of my dad's friends said, Joe, she's a beauty. Petite. My mom was maybe 99 pounds. So their eyes met, like in a Hollywood movie. Across the room, the music was playing. People were dancing. Friends were talking, but they didn't hear them. They didn't see them. My mom said, it was like a magnet. We just started walking towards each other. And she grabbed her rosary out of her purse. And my dad saw the white rosary. And then he took the white rosary out of his pocket. And as they walked together, they were just keeping their eyes on the right rosary. Could their mothers be right? Was this the one? So when they met in the middle, they kept the rosaries in their hands, my dad asked her to dance, and they started dancing. And they held those rosaries all night long as they got to know each other. I'm kind of reminded of this song. I don't know if everyone knows this song, but it's by, it's called At Last. And oh my gosh, I forget the name of the singer. But it wasn't out back then. It wasn't a song back then that I know of. Etta James, that's her name. And the song was At Last. And I said to my mom when she was telling me the story, Mom, I said, you know, there's that song by Etta James, At Last. It almost sounds like if it was out back then, that song could be playing as you walk towards each other with your rosaries in hand. Kind of a romantic meeting. Kind of the both white rosaries. A really good sign that they were meant for each other, and they gave the credit to their mothers and the mother of Jesus. So that's the story of how my parents met. And they were deeply in love, and my dad, being Italian, was just spicy enough for my mom. Although my mom was a very quiet person, and she was the one for my dad. Nice story, huh? Yeah. White rosaries. My mother had a devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, and my dad being Catholic too. So I don't know, it was just God chose them to be together, and the white rosaries was the sign. And then they, I don't know, 9-10 months later got married. My mom was 29. My dad was 30. And can I say they lived happily ever after? No, I can't. Because marriage isn't happily ever after. You have to work at it. You know, it's two people coming together from different backgrounds and, you know, different experiences and lives. And you really have to work at marriage. And, you know, marriage isn't the wedding. The wedding is to marry you. Marriage is the day-to-day learning to live with each other, meeting each trial, each triumph together. But the day that they met, it was magic. It was destined to be. So that's the story of the white rosaries and my mom and dad. And I'll probably tell you a little more about my parents together as we go on. But I wanted to tell you about the white rosaries and how my parents met. So that's it. God bless you. And thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe. It's right there. And like. And thank you. And God bless you. And I'll see you again. I'm probably going to post 2 stories within the same day. So enjoy them. And I'll be seeing you soon. God bless you. Bye.